Hi, my name is John Fisher. I'm part of section 4314001 of data mining, and I'm here to present using and evaluating machine learning models using heart disease data. So why is heart disease so important? Well, heart disease is the leading cause of death for adults in the United States, according to the CDC. And about 702,880 people have died from heart disease in 2022. But what can machine learning do to combat this? Well, machine learning can make a decision in a short amount of time, and the models only require historical data. So they don't require like any complex training. They just need like historical data that's already been that's already being recorded. So what is the project goal? Well, it's to test the performance of each machine learning model and to see if one performs the best overall. So here are some facts about my data set. The data set comes in a tabulated file, tabulated CSV file. So basically, all of the features are labeled and they're neatly organized like an Excel file, basically. Um, the data set also has 10,000 entries and 21 columns and 20 features. So the features are age, gender, systolic blood pressure, cholesterol level, exercise habits, smoker status, family heart disease, diabetes, BMI, high blood pressure status, low HDL cholesterol, high LDL cholesterol, alcohol consumption, triglyceride level, fasting blood sugar level, CRP level, and homocysteine level. So first, we have to decide what features to keep. Firstly, I decided to drop the blood pressure and cholesterol level columns because there's a high pressure column anyways, and also low HDL and the high LDL columns that are categorical. And I think the blood pressure and the cholesterol level columns will cause them to be redundant. So on the bottom right is the all of the distributions of the continuous features. And as you can see, they all have a uniform distribution. So they won't need any transformations. So if we're missing data, on the right is a list of all the features. And on the right of them, all of the numbers on the right are the counts of all the missing values. So most of them have around 20 to 30 missing features, all of them except alcohol consumption. Now, this is a strange anomaly that happened because when I was checking the CSV file, I also saw the word none, and none can be interpreted as the person never drinking alcohol. So there would be about 2,586 nuns in the alcohol consumption feature. And so when it was read in Python, Python thinks that none is a missing value. So Python thinks there's actually 2,586 values. So to remedy this, I just um, for all the missing values in the alcohol consumption I imputed the word clean. Now I know there might be some actual missing values, but I think it wouldn't make much of a difference in performance wise. But other than that, all the continuous features, I decided to drop all their missing values since there are only like 20 to 30 missing values for each feature. It wouldn't make much of an impact if like all of the missing values, because it's really hard to like estimate what the imputed values are for a continuous feature versus a categorical feature. So it was decided that continuous features had to be dropped for the missing values. So after that, I was left with 9,850 entries. That was after the dropping of all the missing values in the rows. I've also done some correlations and mutual information. I didn't see any relationship at all with any feature. They were all close to zero. And I used the min-max scaler for scaling. So here are all the distributions for each feature. You can see the continuous continuous features as shown before. They're all uniform, but if you take a look at the categorical features, we notice that they're all split evenly, which is very peculiar. But I want to pay attention to the heart disease status because that's our target variable. So looking at this bar graph of the heart disease status more closely, on the left is all the 0 values, and on the right is all the 1 values. And as you can see, there are 8,000 zeros and 2,000 ones. So this big of a gap will mean that my data is imbalanced, and that will have a huge effect on the models, on all of the models' performances, which I'll get into later. So there are 5 machine learning methods that I've used to compare to each other. So that's KNN, the k-nearest neighbors, the logistic regression, random forest classifier, a support vector machine. I used a support vector classifier for that, and a neural network, which I used for the MLP classifier. So below each of these machine learning models are the hyperparameters I tested for. So like below KNN, there's for n neighbors, I tested for 3 neighbors, 5 neighbors, 7 neighbors, 9 neighbors, and 11 neighbors. And then for the p-value, the p hyperparameter, I tested 1, 2, and 3. So like every combination of hyperparameter I tested. And I'll go over the strategy next. So I trained the models using the regular k-fold cross-validation. So I also put in 5 folds. So the idea is I test every model using cross-validation. For every hyperparameter, I compare their mean F1 weighted score, because as we know, I can't use the regular F1 score because I have imbalanced data, so I have to use the weighted score. So I compare every model's mean weighted F1 weighted score, and I pick the one model with the biggest score, and that's how I do my hyperparameter tuning. So once I have all the best models with the best F1 weighted score, I compare all of them using their accuracy, balanced accuracy, their recall and precision weighted scores, their F1 weighted score, and their ROC AUC score. And so here are the results. So on the top is the result of the elimination. So you can see like which models, hyperparameters were the best. So like in the random forest model, the Gini criterion and the 10N estimators hyperparameters were the best ones, and they had the highest mean F1 weighted score at 0.7131. And also the support vector machine, the kernel is linear and it has a score of 0.71. So once I had all the best models, on the bottom is all of their values for each metric. Now, I'm not impressed with these results. The accuracy and the recall and precision weighted scores were okay. But the models weren't performing well in the balanced accuracy and the F1 weighted score and the ROC AUC score, which is really bad. I think I have a theory that even with the weighted scores, my models didn't perform so well. But you'll also notice that at first glance, it looks like every model performed pretty much the same. So you can see like in the F1 weighted score, they all have 0.71. And in the AUC score, they either have 0.5 or 0.498. So yeah, they're really close together. So yeah, I observed that all the models were pretty much the same performance. I was disappointed that the balanced accuracy and the AUC score, they didn't perform as well because I think that it was due to the imbalanced data, and I should have instead used the stratified k-fold cross-validation training method, because I think I've seen that it deals better with imbalanced data over the regular one. But even though I can't say for certain that there's a best model that I can prove, the logistic regression model has the fewest hyperparameters while still giving out the same best performance from the best metrics, the models with the best metrics. So yeah, I think I would make a recommendation for logistic regression to use. Thank you.